Hey, what's up guys? The video you're about to watch is a lab that I created on KBTrainings.com, the website for the Cisco CCNA 200-301. So I have a course that's going to prepare you to take and pass the CCNA 200-301, which is a great certification if you want to start or boost your career in the tech industry. So if you want the full course, if you want to see more of these kind of videos, go on the website KBTrainings.com. That's where the course is. Goes from zero to engineer and gives you everything you need to pass the exam with flying colors. So I'll see you on the website. Let's go to the lab. Hey, what's up guys? This is Guy here. Welcome to the lab number 6.1.2 for our course on the Cisco CCNA 200-301. We are still talking about IP services, specifically about DHCP. Today we're going to do a lab where we're going to configure and verify DHCP version 4. And this is from the exam blueprint. If you look at the point number 4.6, Cisco is asking us to configure and verify DHCP client and relay. DHCP relay, I'm going to talk about it in the next lesson. I don't want to overload this one here. So it's going to be just configuring DHCP server and client in this lab today. DHCP is one of those easy protocols that you need to know, understand, master, and move on. When it comes to job interviews, mostly for entry-level jobs, they'll need to know if you know DHCP, if you know how it works. So you need to be familiar with it. You need to do a lot of labs. As always, I ask you to do as many labs as you can on any topic so you can become comfortable and you know exactly what you're doing. So that's what we're going to do today with DHCP. These are the activities that we're going to do, and we will do it on GNS3. Some of the early videos or lessons showed you how to configure or how to install the GNS3 server on your laptop or your server. And if you forgot that, you can go back to those lessons. Or if you want me to do another video on the YouTube channel, let me know and I'll show you how I have my GNS3 installed. So I'm going to show you how to configure a DHCP server on a Cisco router using a CLI. And I'm also going to configure a DHCP client still with the CLI, because today DHCP can be installed on many devices. Here I'm going to install it on a Cisco router. You can install it on a Cisco switch. You can install it on any firewall you have in your network. Like in my home network, it's installed on my UDM Pro. So you can even have Windows Server 2016, like I did at some point. You install a DHCP server on that, or you can have a Linux computer or any Windows computer where you have this service running on there. So you can have it anywhere, but make sure that you only have one DHCP server in your network. If you have more than one, you're going to run into some trouble. So we're going to verify DHCP operation. We're going to talk about DORA and all of that, discover, offer, request, acknowledgement. We are going to do some packet capture, and we are going to analyze the DHCP packet using Wireshark. If you don't know what Wireshark is, it's just a tool that you need to know as an engineer that helps you analyze packets that you captured on the network. We're going to go deeper into this, and you're going to see exactly what we have inside DHCP packet. If you like this lesson, don't forget to like it on YouTube and subscribe to the channel to get more of these kind of videos. Share the video with your friends on social media, and if you want to follow me on Facebook and Instagram, that's good, because I share most of the behind the scenes on those two platforms. Thank you, and back to the lab. And these are some of the commands that we're going to use today when it comes to configuring the DHCP server on a Cisco router. First thing you have to do is go in the enable mode. I know this is more like theory, but it's not how we're supposed to do this. The commands are supposed to be applied on the device, but I'm just showing you what it looks like and what it does. So when you go under configure terminal mode, you type IP DHCP pool. You create a pool of IPs and you give it a name, any name you want to give it. You want to give to it, and then you're going to define what network those IPs belong to, and those IPs should be in the same network. You're going to define the domain name, the DNS server. All these options are optional. Of course, they're options. So DHCP has a lot of options. You can set some of them manually. If you go with option, you give the code and you add the value. You can also extend or reduce the lease time with the command lease. And if you go back, you can also exclude some IPs from being assigned. I'm going to show you how it's done. So these are configuration commands, and we also have some verification commands here. This is what you use to verify whatever you set on your device. Show running config, we begin with DHCP, or you can do show IP DHCP binding, conflict, server statistics, and so on. All right, guys. As I said, most of our time will be spent on GNS3, and I encourage you to do the same. So let's go on GNS3, and we're going to connect all these different devices. We are also going to get access to the CLI of those devices so we can do our configurations. Let me grab the cable and connect 0 to 1, 1 to PC1, to 2, and this will go to number 3. So our network is going to be 10.0.0.0/24. This is a subnet or just network, and the default gateway will be 10.0.0.1, which will be the IP address of this interface right here. We can also have a DNS server. That's gonna be 10.0.0.2. We don't have it on this topology, but we just assume we do have it. The domain name can be KBTrainings.com. All right, these are the information that we're going to configure on the server. The server will push it to the client. So let's go inside the server and do our configuration. But first of all, let me start a packet capture right here. I do a right click on the link and start a packet capture. And this is Wireshark starting. And we're going to have a whole bunch of traffic. We are not interested in all of this. What is sending DHCP Discover already? Oh, I think this is the router over here. It's already sending the discovers, DHCP Discover. I think it is. Let me log into it and check what is the MAC address of this interface. This one, I can give it a name. I'm going to call it DHCP client. Let's see. Show user. Interface console. Okay. All right. So I need to do configure terminal. Line console 0, I think. Line console 0. Logging synchronous. Because I'm connected to the console line. I'm going just to check show IP interface brief. I can do show interface gig 1. Okay, this is the MAC address. Let's see if it's the same MAC address that is sending those discover. One, no, it's not the same. It's a different one. What is this? I don't know. But anyway, so let me filter out all these traffics that we have here. So this one is CDP. I'm going to right click and apply as filter, not selected. I'm going to right click on this one as well. This is DTP, right click, apply as filter and not selected. I'm ignoring these packets. Like the STP or spanning tree, I'm going to apply it as filter and not selected. So right now I removed everything. I only have DHCP discovers. I still have to find what is the device that is sending those discovers. I'm pretty sure it's not PC1. So let's go into this main one here. All right. Same thing, line console 0, logging synchronous. What else? I want to see show interface gig 1. Oh yeah, it's that same, it's the interface that's here. Okay, let me just go ahead and give it an IP. So configure terminal, interface gig 1, IP 10.0.0.1, IP address. No shot, of course, I know it's already up. But now that I gave it that, I don't know if we're gonna have any other discover anymore. So I think we are good. It's just sending out an ARP to make sure nothing has the same IP. Now I'm going to show you how to configure a DHCP server inside this device here. I already had it up and right there. Okay, So this one, I can give it, I want to change the domain name, the host name first. Host name DHCP server. Okay, so to configure the server, I need to go under the configuration mode and type IP DHCP pool and give it a name. I can call it net1 as network 1. And when I get in, I can define the network of my pool here. It's going to be 10.0.0.0/24. And I can also define the default router. It's 10.0.0.1. I can define the DNS server, 10.0.0.2. I can define the domain name, KBTrainings.com. I can define the lease. I will say, because it's in days, I can say 2. It's going to be 2 days. And that can be enough for now. I don't have to set up any other options or anything. So from here, I can end this. How do I verify the configuration? I can do show running config, begin with DHCP. This will show me my configurations that I have for my DHCP pool net1. There's something that I also have to do. I want to exclude IP addresses from 1 to 9, because as you can see, 2 is used for DHCP. I don't want 2 to be assigned. So I'll do IP DHCP exclude IP 10.0.0.1 to 10.0.0.9. Okay. That's all for the server. So the server is ready. It can hand out IP addresses. I can verify by doing show IP DHCP binding. Right now, I don't have any device that requested an IP. I can do show IP DHCP server statistic. We can see that we have 1 pool and everything else is 0. We never sent a message. We never received anything or anything like that. All right. And what else I can do here? I think I can just go ahead and configure these devices to grab their DHCP from the server. So I'll just do IP DHCP, enter. And here we can see that we have a discover message that is sent, followed by an offer message, followed by a request message, and then an acknowledge message. And these are ops sent by the device to make sure there is no other device using the same IP in the network, just to avoid IP duplicate. Let's go ahead and analyze these messages. The first one is the discover message. This is why I like Wireshark. Wireshark can really help you understand deeper what is inside the packets. And as an engineer, you need to know what the steady state looks like. You need to know what the normal packet looks like, so that when you are in trouble, you can detect it by doing some packet capture and see what's wrong inside the packet. So let's go ahead and analyze the discover packet here that we have. So we can see from layer 2 that it goes from 050. This is the MAC address of our host or our device. It's going to a broadcast address, broadcast layer 2 address. So this one is going to be delivered to all the devices inside this network, and only DHCP servers are going to respond. If we go at the layer 3, the source IP is 0 because we don't have an IP so far. The destination is 255. It's a broadcast destination IP. And yeah, that's all for layer 1 and layer 2 and layer 3. At layer 4, you're going to notice that the host or the device is using the port 68, and the destination or the server is using the port 67. This is something that's good to know. Client uses 68 for DHCP, server uses 67. And we can also scroll down, and here we are inside the DHCP message itself. What do we have in here? A lot of things: message type, boot request, hardware type, Ethernet, and so on. So we can scroll down. Your IP address. I don't have an IP yet, so the host doesn't have an IP, but at least we have our MAC address that we are using as our identifier. And here we have different DHCP options. Option 53, what is the type of message? It's a discover message. Option 12, host name. There's no host. Oh yeah, host name PC1. That's the name of my device. Client identifier, option 61. I have my MAC address here, and that's it. That's all the information that I send as a broadcast in the network so that all the DHCP servers can respond. And hopefully there's only one, and it's going to give me an IP. And look at this. Once it goes, there is the DHCP server that is responding with an offer. And if you look at the difference between these two, the DHCP is already talking to that device with the IP that it's offering. And if we look at that, if you look at some details here, we can see that the destination is the destination of the host that is requesting the IP, and the source is the server, the DHCP server. In terms of layer 3, the source is the IP of the server. The destination is the IP that the server is offering to the host. And when we go to layer 3, nothing changed, but we know that the server is talking on the port 67, the client on the port 68. And the DHCP server itself, it's a boot reply, and we can scroll down here and see your IP 10.0.0.10. So this is what the server is offering to the host. And we have many other options: DHCP type, offer, client identifier, option 54, DNS server identifier, which is its IP address. IP lease time 2 days. This is option 51, lease time. Option 58, renewal time. Option 59, rebounding time. Option 1, subnet mask. It's giving all the details here. Option 3, router, the default router. We only have one. Option 6, the domain name server, the DNS server. We have the IP here. Option 15, the domain name. We have the domain name here. So all of this is the information that the DHCP server is sending to the host. And the host is going to send a request packet. And if you look at the request packet, the host doesn't use the IP that it was provided. The host is still using 0.0.0.0 because it doesn't have the right to use that IP yet. And it's still also sending to the broadcast. But if you look at the layer 2, it's using the MAC address of the server as the destination. So now it's talking to a single server, the one that sent the offer. And after that, there is the acknowledgement where the server is just sending everything, confirming everything. And from here on, the host will be using the IP without any problem because it's now assigned to it. We can go ahead and do the same for the PC number 2. I'm going to set it for IP DHCP, D as in discover, O as in offer, R as in request, A as in acknowledgement, and then it's confirmed. So this one is 10.0.0.11. Same thing, if you look at the packet, same transactions happen between the two. And I can go inside the Cisco router here, the DHCP client. I just want to configure the interface 1 with IP address DHCP. Once I do this, let's see, no shut. I'm pretty sure it's probably shut. IP address DHCP. It should also request an IP. I don't know if he got it or not. Yeah, it's connected. I think it did. So let's go ahead and verify. Show IP interface brief. We didn't receive an IP address. Why? Oh, we just did. Okay, we have 10.0.0.12. Okay. I think it was probably coming up here with spanning tree and so on. Okay, if we want to verify in the DHCP server, I can come here and say show IP DHCP binding. And here you can see that we have all the devices that are using an IP that we assigned to them. We have 3 devices, and we have the lease expiration here. This is when the lease is going to expire, which is in 2 days. And we have all the information about those devices. And I can do show IP DHCP server statistics. And we can see that we have 1 pool. We have 3 automatic bindings. and we received 5 discover messages. We sent 3, and we sent 3 offers. We sent 3 acknowledgements. All right, this is giving us the details on the server. And if I go on the client here, I can do show DHCP lease. It will show us that we have an interface that is leasing the DHCP address from this server here. And we have other details like the default gateway and so on. Or I can try to get some more information on the server. I'll say show DHCP server. This will give us everything that we sent to the server and some other details like the DNS, the domain name, and everything we received from the server. What else do we have to do here? I think we covered everything. We configured the server, we configured the client, we verified the operation, we analyzed the packets with Wireshark. Alright guys, that's all for today, and if you have any question, do not hesitate to send me an email or go in the forum. I'll be glad to respond. I'm going to leave you a link to a document that is going to show you just all the different commands and what they do. But again, I encourage you to do a lot of labs on your own and try to master this and go to something else, because this is not difficult. You should just know how it works and play with it in your home network or your lab or your virtual lab. Thank you for watching the video on YouTube. If you liked it, don't forget to like on YouTube and subscribe to the channel for more videos, and follow me on Facebook and Instagram because I share most of my behind the scenes there. And if you want to study for the Cisco CCNA 200-301, the course is on the website, From Zero to Engineer. Everything you need to go and pass the exam with ease. And yeah, thank you. If you have any question, leave it in the comment. I'll be glad to respond. I'll see you in the next one. Take care and bye.